here in Hollywood at Virtual Worlds 2008. I'm about to film Jared Freeman, who is the president of Code for Software. Actually, I just found out I'm the VP of Analytics for it as well. And actually, I've known that. Take that back. But we're going to get to say, hey, how are you? Hey, good deal. Well, hold on. Let me see.
Morning,
Victor.
everyone. My name is Garrett. Briefly by who I am and who am I to talk
Scott
about
here,
this sort
myself.
of thing. I've been involved with Virtual World since 2005. I've been a full-service developer for Second Life since 2006. I have the largest advertising network inside of Second Life for over a year and a half, and its current version 3.0 is running over 1,700 terminals inside of Second Life, and I'll describe what a terminal is. This has given me a lot of information about how advertising actually works inside of virtual worlds. When I say virtual worlds, I'm more pertaining to what I call an open virtual world, a virtual world that allows users to generate their own content and users to control their own environment. So, if you guys are curious, you can download, I'll show this slide again at the very end. You can download this presentation as a PDF file. And again, like I said, I'll come to that at the very end, I'll leave that up. So, the subtitle for this is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of in-world advertising. And they are all of the above, good, bad, and ugly. The good. People who actually want to advertise will want to be able to show return on investment, will be able to show what kind of statistics they're getting, and are they actually getting the sort of engagement that they had hoped for the money that they're spending. So to do that, you have to have a whole system in place to capture those metrics and to analyze them. Also, you have to be responsible. You could get a lot of impressions and so forth in an open virtual world by putting signs absolutely everywhere, meaning you could not turn left or right and not see signage. And that actually has been done by several people, and I call them the bad. So if you're going to be good, you have to be responsible. You have to limit your density. You have to limit how much signage you're going to put up there, and you have to sort of focus. The bad people don't care about that at all, and they've actually given advertisements inside of virtual worlds a bad name, a blanket bad name, because they don't care about statistics, they don't care about return on investment, they care more about power play, ego trip, or extortion. What I mean by extortion, Second Life is an open virtual world where you can own land. If you own a piece of property and somebody, you put a lot of work into it, and then somebody buys a piece of property right next to you and erects all kinds of ugly signage, you probably want to pay them to go away. That's extortion, and that's the bad. The ugly are the people who are at what we call hardcore users that believe very strongly in their vision of what the platform is for, and they are against all forms of advertising, and typically they're against all forms of corporate involvement inside of the virtual worlds. And these people typically have not much to lose, so they will lie, slander, cheat, steal, do just about anything to give you a bad reputation, including calling your corporate sponsors and lying about you. Now, typically they don't have any assets, so there's no point in suing these people for slander because there's nothing to be gained from doing so. But that's what you have to contend against. Those are the ugly. In-world advertising is out-of-home market. So when you're walking around, you see a sign. You go downtown in Los Angeles, they're everywhere. You see them on the buses, you see them absolutely everywhere. The reason they're everywhere is because it's a model that works. It's been studied for decades, literally, and it's a factor of the creative. How creative is the art, how creative is the display, will drive how much interest there is in responding to it. The way to be the good, as I mentioned before, is to adhere to guidelines, publish them, engage the community about those guidelines. If you're putting too much signage out and people are screaming, listen to them, pull signs. If you have people that think that they should be able to share in the creation of these and maybe have them on their land or control where they are, maybe you need to move them from time to time. So you have to be responsible. Okay. Virtual worlds do not allow audience congregation. You can't have more than 50 or 70 people in one location at any one time. This means that the traditional model of mass communication breaks down because you're not going to have a Grand Central Station or Times Square where there's thousands and thousands of people flowing through it, and you can pick your one location to have a big sign and know that the thousands of people will actually see it. In this case, you're going to only get 50 or 70 people. So the answer is to be everywhere, but balancing it with density. This is distributed placement, or I also call it ubiquitous distribution, being everywhere. Some of the things that make in-world ads work are things that you would need for display. The display in almost every virtual world that I've come across uses something called a texture. A texture is a graphic that gets applied to a shape. In this case, the shapes of blocks, and you can place graphics on two different sides of the blocks and two different graphics. There's also land. You have to put these terminals somewhere, just like you put a billboard in the real world. You need to own the place where you're putting the poles and the actual footprint of the sign. The same thing in Second Life. You have to actually own the land. How big the land is determines what kind of sign you can put up. Land changes constantly in Second Life. They have buying and selling in a free open market, which allows anybody to buy land at any price and sell land at any price, and the market decides. So this is actually a view within Second Life of the large land map, and it actually shows you in yellow parcels for sale. And if you were to look at this today, it would look this way. If you look at it a few days later, it would be totally different. So land is constantly being sold and bought. And this means that what was once a really good location can be sold and turned into a desert. Which was once a desert can be bought and turned into a hot and club with tons of traffic. So it becomes difficult to know exactly where the traffic will be. Once again, going back to the strategy of be everywhere and buy and hold properties to allow the traffic to move around you. All signs have a range that you can see them. In the virtual world, they have an iterative uploading of textures. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old days of the internet when they had the GIFs and they had the interlaced GIFs, and they would start out really chunky and then they would get a little bit more fine and a little bit more fine and then finally be nice and clear. Well, it's the same sort of thing happens in a virtual world. And as you get further and further away, the resolution drops. So you have to define how far out are you going to count that somebody is being impressed. How far out can they actually see and make out the ad? And this is what I call viewable range. Well, once they're in viewable range, are they actually there long enough to be able to see the sign? Now, you don't know that they actually do see the sign because there's something called a camera control. In almost every virtual world, we can pan the camera around. So I may be pointing this way, but I could actually be looking over there with my camera. So even though you can find out what somebody's view cone is and say, oh, well, is the object within the view cone, doesn't necessarily mean that they're looking at it. So being that is the case, I decided to use the metric time. They must be there for at least a minute. And that means that they had to have the opportunity to see it. If you look at how they count impressions in magazines, for example, they don't actually count everybody who picks up the magazine. They do statistical analysis of X many magazines were shipped out. There's a 2-point multiplier. That means that for every magazine shipped, 2 people will read it, and they estimate that X% will actually look at the ad, and that's what they'll sell to the advertiser. So a request, unlike a real-world billboard. In a virtual world, the signs are interactive. You can touch them, and they'll do stuff. In the case of our network, it will offer you several choices as an ad designer. You can have an ad give you just a display. You can have an ad give out a note card, which contains textual information. You can have an ad redirect you to an external website, which is a URL link. You can have an ad actually teleport you to another in-world location. So, for example, if you're having an event, party, you want the people to come by, put up a sign on 1,700 locations throughout the main grid, and you say, party happening right now, come on, people can touch the sign, and they show up right then and there. It's teleport offer. Or you can actually give away objects. You can say, click here to get the free Frisbee, click here to get the car, click here to get the t-shirt, whatever it is that you're giving away. Promotional objects.